Now, today's story is rather personal, and I'm telling it as a reminder to all of us that if you ignore your body's pleas for help long enough, it just might kill you. Before we get started, I'd like to invite you to take advantage of a free resource I made for you. It's called the SoundHealth newsletter. In it, I share the latest research in music and health. Plus, you'll learn music and wellness exercises that you can use every day to feel your best. You'll also get discounts and first access to all of my products and events. Remember, it's completely free. Just come visit me at donovanhealth.com to get started today. That's donovanhealth.com. Hey there, this is Jim Donovan. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I am glad you're here. Now, today's story is rather personal, and I'm telling it as a reminder to all of us that if you ignore your body's pleas for help long enough, it just might kill you, or at least come very close. For years, I knew deep down that the pace of my life was unsustainable. And very recently, years of burning the candle at both ends finally caught up with me. Over the past 3 decades, I've gone full steam ahead. I lived life on the road as I toured with Rusted Root for 15 years. I started a beautiful family with my wife Tracy. And today I travel the country to present seminars and facilitate music events, all the while teaching full-time at a university and bringing my latest sound healing project called donovansoundsolution to fruition. I've kept busy, to say the least. But nobody and no body can do that forever. So I probably shouldn't have been surprised to find myself in the hospital earlier this year, living out my worst medical nightmare to date. For over a decade, I've struggled with something called diverticulitis, which is a painful condition where small bulging pouches develop in your digestive tract and become inflamed. The symptoms are no walk in the park. They include severe abdominal pain that can linger for several days, fever, nausea, and other digestive problems. The pain of my occasional flare-up served as a crude reminder that perhaps it was time to slow down and finally take a break. But I chose to ignore those signs. Every single time. I'd always just take a course of antibiotics and get right back to work. A few months ago, I saw my doctor to get meds for yet another flare-up. During my visit, he explained that my problems with diverticulosis had reached the point where if one of them were to burst, it could cause an infection, and if this were to happen, it could kill me quickly. My doctor also knows how often I drive long distances for my workshops and trainings. He pointed out that if one of these intestinal pouches were to burst on the highway, out in the middle of nowhere, I might not realize it until my organs were shutting down, and by then, it would be too late. The moment had finally come where I was faced with the reality of not wanting, but having to take a break. I no longer had a choice to ignore it, and I had to commit right then and there to have surgery. I was told that it would be a 3 to 5 day stay in the hospital, followed by 3 or 4 weeks of recovery, except it wasn't. What happened next rocked my entire existence to its core. I woke up in a hospital bed in the intensive care unit with my wife by my side, and she looked worried. Unbeknownst to me, just 30 minutes prior, I was literally dying on the operating room table as a result of a cascade of complications following my routine GI surgery. Apparently, my blood pressure had tanked and my heart rate skyrocketed. The surgeons had to abandon the surgery midstream, inject me with medicine to stabilize my vitals, and sew me back up. Unfortunately, that wasn't the end of my ordeal. 2 days later, I noticed an awful feeling in my stomach again, and my abdomen began to swell worse than any time before. I started experiencing grueling, unimaginable abdominal pains. The best way I can describe the feeling is that it was like the worst Charlie horse I'd ever had, but in my gut, and then extreme nausea followed. And soon after, I became violently ill with gut-wrenching pain. The whole time, I was worried that one of my new incisions would burst open as a result of all the pressure. The heaving and the writhing continued on. At one point, I thought to myself, well, this is it, Jim. This is how you're going to go. I came to find out that my body was actually drowning itself. My small intestines had stopped functioning, and all the IV fluid, opiates, antibiotics, and stomach bile had nowhere to go but up and out. For the first time in my life, I truly felt helpless and terrified, and I began to panic. Luckily, 2 nurses darted into my room and started checking my vitals. One of them looked at me and calmly informed me of the situation at hand. "Mr. Donovan, we're going to put this tube up your nose and then down through your stomach so that we can pump it out. It's going to hurt. We just need you to try to relax and swallow so that the tube goes down," she said. And although a lot was happening quickly and all at once, I managed to hear her say the word relax. Relax? Okay, I know how to do that. I teach people how to relax every day, I thought to myself. So I began a deep breathing technique I have used many times to quell my anxiety and the anxiety of others. I'll tell you exactly how to do it in a minute. And it worked. Although the pain was excruciating, I continued to breathe slowly and kept myself relaxed just long enough for the nurses to smoothly insert this tube up my nose and down into my stomach. The liquid was pumped out, the nausea subsided, and I was able to breathe again. My years of practicing this relaxation technique paid off big time. In fact, I credit it, along with these 2 fantastic nurses, with saving my life. I learned many things from this experience. One of the biggest takeaways was that while I can't control the fact that I have diverticulitis or that complications occurred during the surgery, I can control how I react to those situations. Rather than let fear take over, I took action and leaned into the practices I'd been doing for years. I trusted in the techniques to do what they were intended to do, to trigger the systems in my body responsible for calming me down and helping me to heal. Make no mistake, the experience was absolutely awful. The pain was well beyond what I thought was humanly possible, and I hope it's nothing you ever have to endure. But my point is, I lived to tell you about it. I'm alive, with help from a dedicated team of professionals, and because I could help myself when the situation was grim. If you don't already have one, maybe it's time for you to begin a practice to lean on whenever you need it. In a moment, I'll show you the exact one I used in the hospital to calm myself down. In addition to the sound healing techniques I teach, I've also found the benefits of proper breathing to be highly effective for a variety of ailments. What I like most about these types of techniques is that they're subtle, easy, and effective. You can do them anytime and take them with you wherever you go, even into the hospital, but hopefully you won't have to do that. One basic technique I use often, I call square breathing. It's called this because of how you split your breath up into 4 equal parts. Here's how you do it. You breathe in for 4 seconds, hold 2, 3, 4, exhale for 4 seconds, and then wait without breathing. 3, 4. So in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4 seconds, and then just wait without breathing for 4 seconds. In, hold, out, wait. Let's try a few of these together. Ready? Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, hold it. Let it go, 2, 3, 4, and wait. And now breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold it. Let it go, 2, 3, 4, and wait. Couple more. Breath in. Hold it. Exhale. And wait. One more time. Breath in. Hold it. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, and wait. 2, 3, 4. Now just breathe at your own pace. Notice how you feel just after a few rounds of that. I love to use this technique right before bed. I use it anytime I'm feeling nervous, and of course when I was in the worst of conditions, I use this exact exercise. Before I go, I want to leave you with this. Stop putting yourself last. Let today be the day you choose to make taking impeccable care of yourself non-negotiable.